So the video I'm turning in is a featurette on an interview from the main character of the book Graceling, Katza. So it's an interview inside of a newscast. So this is just background information on Graceling. So the first piece of background information is that Graceling was published in 2008. The book was published by the author Kristen Kishore. In 2009, Graceling had won the Mythopoeic Fantasy Award, and Kristen Kishore has only published 2 other books, Fire and Bitter Blue, which are both in the series.
Everybody's waiting, everybody's watching, even when you sleep.
Hello, this is Katza, and this is the interview. Hello, my name is Diane Doubtfire. Today, I'm going to be asking you, Katza, questions about your journey in the book Graceling. So, please let us begin. Answer as honestly as possible. Alrighty. Question 1. Before Paul had arrived at the castle, how had you felt when Randa would send you on his missions? I felt like a monster. To Randa and everyone else, I was a dog to be trained and controlled, and always dangerous. I had tried to defy him, but always turned up unsuccessful. I had given up and lost myself. Thinking about defiance had become too painful, so I obeyed him. I was afraid of him. Now, based on that lovely answer you gave me, let me ask this question. How had Paul changed this?
He told me that I didn't have to kill for Randa anymore, and I believed him. Poe was his own person, which inspired me to be my own person, helping me stand up to Randa. Poe gave me the courage to stand up to Randa and to no longer fear myself.
How did you feel when you met Poe? When I met Poe, I instantly knew there was something different about him. His eyes caught me off guard. When I learned that he had a fighting grace, I realized that we weren't so different. Him and I were both feared. Why did you rescue
Poe's grandfather?
Well, I just think I was overwhelmed by all the bad I was doing for Randa. At the time, the council was the only thing I had power over, where I could help people instead of hurt them. So when I had saved Poe's grandfather, it was to redeem myself.
So, when you were traveling with Poe to Marseille and had discovered that your grace was survival, not just killing, how did that make you feel?
Well, I was shocked, I guess. I'm not the most perceptive person, as Rappin loves to point out, so I never really paid attention to all the signs. Ever since I had been deemed the lady killer at Midland's court, I'd always felt unwanted and out of place. But when I had found out that my grace wasn't just killing, that was when I actually started believing that I could help people and make a difference. That I might be able to redeem myself for all the lives I've taken.
When you had first learned that you and Poe loved each other, how did that make you feel?
I was so overwhelmed with emotion. It's not that I didn't love Poe. I did. Very, very much. But I made a promise to myself that I would never give up my freedom again. And I just couldn't make an exception for Poe. I had finally freed myself from Randa's rule, no longer having to kill or hurt for him. While I knew that Poe would never make me do anything against my will, I needed to remain my own person, and marriage would change that.
Skipping ahead, when you had to leave Poe and continue taking Bitterblue to Poe's castle, how did you feel when you had to leave Poe behind?
Well, I was so scared for him and me. The uncertainty of the situation was killing me. I was never sure if he was okay, and the separation was so painful. Before this, I had never felt grief because I had never had loved someone before. I somehow thought that the farther Bitter and Blue and I went, the safer Poe would be. So I just kept going.
Once you had killed King Lek, how did that make you feel?
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I actually felt relieved. Now that Bitter Blue was safe, I knew I would be able to go find Poe. To me, King Lek was just another person who wanted to and could control me. Now that he was dead, it was a reaffirmation that I was free.
And last, but certainly not least, when you had started training kids in Marseille after you had found Poe, how did this career make you feel?
I finally felt like I was my own person. I was making a difference helping girls know how to defend themselves. I was finally able to redeem myself for all the bad I had done. I felt like a new person.
Hello, I am Dr. Smith, world-renowned psychologist. So, today I'm going to be using the interview by Diane Doubtfire and using psychoanalysis to discuss Katza's character development. In the story, Katza has started off as kind of like a shell. She was guarded, she didn't really believe in herself, she viewed herself as a monster. She didn't like herself, she was ashamed of her own character, ashamed of her actions. But then as the story progresses and she meets Poe, she becomes more independent. When she defies Randa, that's like the turning point of her character. She's like, I'm done doing what people tell me to do. I'm going to be independent. Right off from there, her character just skyrockets and she starts redeeming herself. You can tell as the story goes on, she views herself less as a monster. But then we see at the end, when she's training the kids, she finally feels like her own person. She feels independent. It's very evident that Katza no longer views herself as a monster and is confident in her character because she feels like she's redeeming herself for all the things she's done for Randa. That is my professional psychoanalysis on Katza from Graceling. And you were just graced with the presence of Dr. Smith.